Welcome to another nightly bodybuilding talk that no one cares about. So, I want to talk about losing some body fat and getting into shape because that's what I'm doing right now. For the longest time, I was at 250 pounds and I was improving. However, the scale did not move for weeks. It was always around the same weight, 250, 252, 249, 251. And it was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Am I still eating too much? What's happening? So in the end, let's put it this way. You can and want to build and maintain muscle while burning fat at the same time. That is actually possible. So don't think you need to bulk, get fat, and then lean down by cutting and think like you can't improve, because that is not true. It is very well possible to do both at the same time, and you should. You should actually, you see that they used to, people used to gain 30, 40, 50 pounds, and then they had to go on a diet just to lose it all. That is, in my opinion, not necessary. It's even somewhat old-fashioned or stupid. You can build some muscle. You can, build some weight, 20 pounds, maybe something like that. Even I'll go up to 30 pounds, but it has to be quality, and it doesn't have to be basically just eating like a pig and then, going on a strict diet after, just try to lose it all. So what you want to do is you just want to follow the same kind of principles, 80% where you eat the right way, you work out the right way, and so forth. But maybe you eat a little bit more protein, okay, and maybe a little bit more carbs, but not at night, just to gain some muscle. But how do you lose it all? So, obviously, the only way, and it doesn't matter what you do, the only way to lose body fat is two ways. Number one is to eat less calories, to be in a calorie deficit, and number two is cardio. Those are the two things. So, yes, what you can do is you want to, let's say, reduce the amount of food that you eat a little bit, not by too much so that you're starving, but you can even switch some things around where you, let's say, not just reduce the calories, but maybe just increase the protein and reduce the carbs at the same time. That usually helps because that helps to curb your appetite and so forth. Then at the same time, you want to do cardio or workout on an empty stomach first thing in the morning because that's the most efficient way to do it. However, in my example today, so I went to the gym and I had an hour of workout and I planned to do some cardio, but just didn't have the energy anymore. And I could have forced myself and this and that, but it's almost like I just felt like I listened to my body. I just couldn't do anymore. So that's fine. What I did instead was I went home, I had my breakfast and so forth. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I went for a walk around our lake and it took me like an hour and 15 minutes. And so I did, 12,000 steps. I don't know. I have to check. I just did a lot of steps. It was probably like 3.5 miles or something like that of walking. And while I was walking, I was on the phone and time just went by. But it was, you see, energy. When you look at energy, you move a body, let's say somebody who's, 200 pounds, and he goes up the stairs. He needs more calories than someone who's 100 pounds and goes up the stairs. So if you move your body and you're walking, and it doesn't even matter how fast you're walking, as long as you're moving, you will burn calories, you will burn fat. And so the heavier you are, the more muscle you have, automatically the more calories you will burn and require. So basically what you want to do is you want to get your cardio in, whether this is right after your workout or at the second time in the day where you have an hour session of whatever kind of cardio you like. So, and you don't want to be running because then you're going to burn also some muscle. You want to have a high pulse but a fast pace and a walk or something like that, or an easy bike ride or something like that. So you see, I work out on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, and I work out with weights. And usually I don't have the same kind of power or endurance that maybe I would have if I had a couple of meals in before. But I do this knowing this, that I'm weaker, so to speak, but I have the ability to burn fat. And usually I add 20 or 30 minutes of cardio right after my workout, which usually is enough because I already work out for an hour plus, let's say, 20 or 30 minutes after. So that's like an hour and a half of exercise on an empty stomach, which is quite good, you know? So, but then what you want to do is you want to just be smart about how you eat. You want to fill your stomach with, let's say, lots of material like lettuce, or, you know, let's say you have a steak with lettuce, and have a big lettuce, okay? That will fill you up for a few hours. But lettuce has basically no calories, but it will fill you up. What you don't want to do is eat like nuts, because nuts are small and they're high concentrated with fat and they have lots of calories. So you want to have big volume food, but low calorie dense, okay, in that sense. So that's kind of not high calorie dense, you know, but low calorie dense foods. They will help you. Those are vegetables. Those are, you know, things like salad, you know, things like that. They help you in that process. And also, like, what I'd like to do in between is, if I get hungry and I have like an urge to eat like chocolate, I have a chocolate protein shake. Like, for example, like this, okay? So here, this is my last meal of the day before I go to sleep, because I know at night my body will recover, will try to build muscle and so forth. But in between, if I really have the urge and I can't, you know, I feel like I need some chocolate or something to eat, I'll have a protein shake with chocolate. And that will help me to basically get over it. After 10 minutes of drinking it, I no longer have the urge, you know, it's gone. And so, and then 2 or 3 hours later, I have my next meal, which then has to be protein with some, you know, vegetables or something like that. And it's okay to have some carbs, let's say around noon or in the morning. But after that, let's say 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you no longer should eat any carbs whatsoever. You should only have protein with, you know, veggies or salad. And just by doing that, by cutting out, let's say, rice, okay? Because you don't need rice. Why do you need rice at 6 o'clock at night? For what? You're not going to, you know, the day's almost over. You just, there's no requirement for any kind of energy. You don't need the calories, right? So you just want to be smart and logical about the whole thing. So I don't necessarily count the calories, but I'm more aware of, okay, you know what? It's lunchtime. It's okay to have a little bit of rice with some chicken if I want to, but not too much, or ideally not at all. But today I had a little bit of rice with chicken and steak, okay? Very little rice. But then at night, zero. Just not necessary. And also, if you eat enough protein, you're going to feel less hungry. You don't need it. And it's okay during a diet to have a little bit of the hunger urges, you know? So, as I said, either I drink a protein shake or sometimes a cold pressed green juice that has like 35 calories, just to kind of get some liquid in my stomach to fill out the stomach with something, you know? There's even people that eat, I saw this once in a video, like Jell-O. They make Jell-O, and the Jell-O was calorie free or something, but it's like a whole bowl of Jell-O just to fill up the stomach but have no calories, not to feel hungry, so to speak, okay? So you got to go through a phase at the end of a prep where, yes, you have to kind of trick yourself a little bit. You have to come up with some solutions that will help you not to overeat, because you have to be in a calorie deficit. And you have to make sure that every day you do your cardio. And as long as you do that, you will start to lose fat. And you do this consistently and over a few weeks, and you will see the change. And it will come eventually, you know, the way you want it to be. So, and if you see, when you do bodybuilding, and you think, okay, 20 or 30 minutes is okay. During a normal time, yes. But if you do a prep, you maybe have to increase this to 2 hours, you know? 1 hour of weight training, maybe 2 hours of cardio. And it's okay. It's just for a phase to lose body fat. Some people even do 3 hours. Anyway, that's the message for tonight, and I'll see you in the next video.